further concerns from a Washington state senator to passage of the new income tax. Now, still not signed by Governor Bob Ferguson. We're waiting on that. But Senator Jeff Wilson of Longview shares some of his thoughts, not only about passage of the income tax, which he believes was really rushed through, um, but about the whole session. He says, in his opinion, we've bottomed out in Olympia and it really can't get any worse. So that wasn't great news, but having covered the entire session, which ended a week ago today, I can tell you it was, there was a lot of toxicity in that building. All right, so let's get started. It has been a week today since the end of the 2026 legislative session. The big focus, lots of the media attention was on Senate Bill 6346, the income tax bill, yet to be signed by the governor. No reason to suspect that he's not going to sign this, but it was not on his bill signing calendar today, although a very controversial bill, another very controversial bill he did sign today. He signed the bill to that says that ICE officers, immigration and customs enforcement officers in Washington are not allowed to cover their faces. It's gotten a lot of attention, of course, on the national stage. A lot of these officers have been doxxed, their own families, followed home and threatened. So that's why they cover their faces. Apparently, here in the state of Washington, they're not supposed to do that. Going to be curious to see if that holds up because, of course, the federal administration says we control our federal officers and how they operate across the country, and you, Washington, are not allowed to say whether or not their faces are covered. So, lots to get into, but I want to share with you what Senator Jeff Wilson of Longview told me about passage of the income tax. He said this was just one part of what he called a really bad session. He did get passage of a bill that he's pushed for quite some time on kit homes as part of the solution for our housing shortage. These are smaller homes where back in the Sears and Roebuck calendar days or catalog days, I should say, you could literally get in there and you could order a home and they ship you. There'd be pallets that show up outside your house. And this is, do it yourself instructions on how to build a smaller home. I think it has to be 800 square feet or smaller. Plenty big for, a couple, especially an older couple that, kids are out of the house, plenty big enough to live in. So the kit homes are coming back as part of the housing solution in the state of Washington. But he in these reflections, I want to share with you what he thought about the income tax, and then really what he said was a nasty year. He said he thought the 2025 session and how things were run by majority Democrats were as bad as it can get. He said this year got even worse. Here's part of that conversation with Senator Wilson.
I was never in any hurry to really exit this session. In fact, I kind of would have wished we had more time and this was at least a long session. Who knows? Maybe it was strategically planned by interested parties to do it this way, where you don't have a lot of time. I don't think we fully vetted the importance and on a transparent basis with our bosses, and that's the people that we serve. You saw record-breaking attendance for people that took the time to weigh in, over 100,000 on the income tax bill alone. And yet with this in a matter of few days and hours, we made decisions that affect history going forward. But ultimately, we're not in a good place. This was not a good year. I really believe that last session in 2025, I kind of thought that, as with most overwhelming issues, you would bottom out. We didn't bottom out. This year, we hit the bottom. There's no lower place to go forward on our economic responsibility to you and everybody else in this state. It's got a potential for it could just get worse from here on out. I want to tout the good things, but it's overshadowed and drowned out by the process, by design, the way it handled, and here we are stuck with things that we know are headed to the courts, and I think we knew better.
So again, we're still waiting to find out when Governor Ferguson is going to sign the income tax bill and whether or not any parts of that will be vetoed. And of course, next steps are a legal challenge. Where that's going to come from, We don't, we've heard lots of rumors, but, and speculations out there as to who's going to be behind that. And then whether or not there will, in tandem, or maybe next year, be a citizen initiative campaigned in an effort to roll back the recently passed income tax.